I'm converting this Harbor Freight lathe into a CNC because it's small and I can sort of play around with it. So I have the control box in here set up with grbl. It's an Arduino with the motion controller on there and a couple cheap stepper motor controllers, stuff like that. And then also what's new is a spindle encoder. This is a little optical encoder, and there's a Sharpie mark. I put a silver Sharpie mark right there, you can see. So that reflects light back into the sensor here. So now I can have grbl synchronize the spindle whenever it's doing certain operations like a G33, which we can use for threading. So the purpose of this video is to demonstrate threading using grbl on this lathe. So first, I'm just going to get this spinning slowly, and then you can look down in here and see that blue light blinking. That's 1 blink per revolution. So our tool is just a few thou deep, and I'm going to do a 10mm pass with 1mm per revolution synchronized to the spindle. So that will be a G33 Z -10 because we're at 0. So we'll move it -10mm, and then K, that's feed per revolution, 1mm. Alright, we'll go ahead and issue that command. You can see we've got some neat looking lines in the Sharpie mark. So now I'm going to do the same thing again basically. I'll just wrap it back to 0 and then come in a little bit farther and see if the lines match up, if they're synchronized, because when you're threading you need to be able to cut into the same grooves over and over, gradually removing material. So let's give it another G33 and see how it does. Very nice. So now you can see it's the same thread pattern. There aren't any lines in between or around the previous lines. It looks pretty close. So that there is really exciting, because that's one of the advantages of a CNC over a manual, is that you can do complicated threading patterns, tapers, certain ratios that don't exist or aren't very common. You can do all that on a CNC without having to change any of the gears. Now you may be noticing that I have a handle still on the X-axis. Well, I've 3D printed the motor mount for that. That's coming later, but I was most interested in getting the threading working. That's why I started there. I have 3 motor controllers in here. I think I only will need 2, but it doesn't hurt to have a third. I might end up using this box for other machines. Who knows? So that's kind of that's very exciting to see that going. So now I can probably move on the X-axis, and well, maybe I'll just cut some more threads and see if I can get something looking good. So let's go like I guess that's only 5 thou deep, but that's amazing. Try cutting a little faster. this project still has a long way to go, but so far I am super pleased with the progress that I've made. I'm going to work on the X-axis motor and some of the limit switches probably, and get it to where it can run G-code programs on its own. But so far, I'm happy with where it's at. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.